Good morning, Chicago Cubs fans. We are back with another edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. The Cubs have made their first move of the 2025 offseason. We'll discuss that. We signed right-hander Phil Maton. We're going to talk about the contracts that were tendered on Friday to the arbitration-eligible players. We're going to go over a potential trade. I don't have any rumors on this one, but a guy I really think could help the Cubs. And then we're going to report some news on a trade that just went down yesterday. But before we get into all that, I just want to give everyone a big thank you again from the bottom of my heart. If you guys are new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1K and we are rolling on the way to that goal. Again, share your thoughts in the comments down below. I would love to hear what everyone is thinking. So, the Cubs have officially signed their first player free agent. It is right-hander Phil Maton. According to Source, this guy is going to help alleviate some of that bullpen structuring because, again, we are losing some key pieces from that bullpen, such as Brad Keller, Drew Pomeranz, and Caleb Thielbar, etc., etc. But Phil Maton had some really promising numbers last season. Let's take a look here. I got a little article whipped up for us right here. Let's take a look. So they added Phil Maton on a 2-year deal that includes a club option for 28. Okay, so I was talking about it earlier, right? We don't really sign relievers for long-term deals, but this is not too bad, right? Maton offers a key piece to the relief puzzle being assembled by Jed Hoyer. Let's take a look at some numbers real quick. I think it's an opportunity in a lot of ways, said Hoyer, discussing the bullpen rebuild last week. In some ways, it is a challenge. We need a number of guys. We hit on a lot of guys last year, so I think we'll probably look at the same thing. We'll look at small trades. We'll look at small deals. We'll look in Major League free agency. Well, let's take a look here. In the 32-year-old Maton, the Cubs are landing a pitcher who found another level last year. Campaign split between the Cardinals and the Rangers. Maton has a 3.98 in his 3.98 ERA in his 478 career outings, which isn't great as a reliever, but it's not bad either. But last year in 63 outings, he logged a 2.79. These are the numbers we're really looking at right here per StatCast, okay? Per StatCast, Maton was in the 99th percentile in hard hit rate, 30.7, and average exit velocity means not many people were really hitting him well, while also rating in the 98th percentile in barrel rate and whiff rate, and the 95th percentile in strikeout rate, and expected batting average, 195. Led with his curveball and cutter, which has served as his main two weapons dating back to 2023. The righty also mixes in a sweeper sinker while dropping the four-seamer he featured earlier in his career. His curveball in particular was especially effective last season, as evidenced by the 4.619 whip rate. Let's take a look here at this pitch real quick. Oh, that was gross. I liked. Okay, good, well done, Jed. Hopefully it works out. Sometimes relievers are not necessarily, they're more year to year than inconsistent, but I like the signing. Hopefully we get to keep him in our pen for a few seasons, and hopefully he brings that to the Cubs. Again, we've been hammering this point home, right? The Cubs need more swing and miss guys, and if Maton can provide that, then this is going to be an excellent deal for the Cubs and their bullpen. So, excited to see him in a Cubs uniform, but we got a couple of other guys that are going to be in a Cubs uniform as well. So, of the 4 arbitration-eligible players on Friday, the Cubs tendered contracts to 2 of them, and they are exactly who we thought they would be. One being Justin Steele. He's been a very reliable starter for us for a while now. And Javier Assad, who has done a fantastic job being that kind of long roll, 5th starter type pitcher for us. And so I'm glad that we're going to have them both back on the team. Javier Assad provides much needed depth to this rotation, and obviously Steele is recovering from that injury, and hopefully once he comes back, he really helps lengthen this rotation to an absolutely new level, right? We got 5 starters already, and that's without even me really including Javier Assad or Colin Ray, right? We got Cade Horton. We've got Shota Imanaga coming back for another year. We got Boyd. We got Jameson Taillon. And then, ideally, Steele. Steele would be, he's not going to be 5th in the rotation. I know. But what I'm saying, though, is we got Colin Ray and Javier Assad to provide that flexibility for us. I'm also curious to see what we do with Ben Brown. How do we work with him this offseason? Does he improve? Because, honestly, I like his potential in terms of swing and miss. I think he's got the stuff to be successful in the major league level. Last year, it just kind of was getting pinpointed and teed off at different levels. But again, he's young. He can learn. So I'm not too concerned on that front. Now, Eli Morgan and Reese McGuire were not tendered contracts. Obviously, understandably so. Reese McGuire was kind of more like the third catcher. He was, for his job, guys, we got the most out of him. He absolutely had a couple games that won ball games for us, but he just wasn't going to have a place on this team, unfortunately, in the 2026 season. And then Eli Morgan, I think there's probably something wrong with his medicals. I was thinking maybe he's going to be part of a solution to our bullpen this year, but it just wasn't looking like it, and I think his tenure with the Cubs just didn't really go well. Maybe we re-signed him to like a minor league deal or something like that, and he could work his way to the big league club, but as it sits right now, I just don't think that's going to happen. Okay, let's get to some perspective notes here, okay? This is a name that I have not seen linked to the Cubs by any means. I have not seen anything that would lead me to believe that he's going to be a Cub. I just think it's an opportunity, okay? This is how I feel. What would it cost to get Adley Rutschman out of Baltimore, okay? If you guys do not know, earlier this season, the Baltimore Orioles, they committed to their very young catcher, Samuel Basello or something like that, and they extended him to a big deal. Okay, yeah, there it is. The O's signed Samuel Basello to 8 years, $67 million, okay? If you make that kind of commitment, who turned 21 9 days ago, so in mid-August he turned 21. The number 4 overall prospect in baseball. He jumped from low AA, reached AAA last year just after his 20th birthday, and is crushing AAA pitching this year. He's a slugging left-handed hitter who signed out of the Dominican Republic in 2021 for $1.3 million. He's regarded by a number of evaluators as the best hitter in the minor leagues this season and has impressed in his short time in the big leagues. While Baltimore already has a starting catcher and 2-time All-Star Adley Rutschman, Basello could see time at first base, where he has played more than 100 games over his 5 minor league seasons. Yes, that is a possibility he could play at first base, right? But they did also tender a contract to Ryan Mountcastle. So what does that mean? I think Baltimore wants to move Adley Rutschman. Again, I've heard rumors, I've heard inklings that Baltimore's not really thrilled with Adley. I'm not sure of the specifics on that. But again, a switch-hitting catcher, 2-time All-Star of Adley Rutschman's pedigree? Sign me up, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you don't want to play in certain areas. He's kind of struggled the past couple of seasons, but again, this is baseball, right? He's already got a 15 career WAR in his 4 seasons, okay? His rookie season, he had a 5.4 WAR, okay? He was 12th in MVP voting. I think there's a lot to be had with Adley Rutschman still, but my question, he's only 24. My question here is what is it going to cost to get him, okay? Obviously, I think Miguel Amaya or Carson Kelly is going to have to be a part of the package since we don't need 3 catchers on the roster, right? He could be our designated hitter, sure, but that bat's got to really, really turn around for that to happen. Again, this is where Kevin Alcantara gets thrown in, right? I know the Orioles are looking for outfielders, so they could always use some pitching. You could throw him Javier Assad as well, give him some major league depth up there. Again, I'm just spitballing. I don't know. I'm sorry, he is 27 years old. I apologize. But I'm just curious as to what it costs, right? Pittsburgh's not looking to trade him to get the haul that they want, right? Like when they're kind of like in rebuilding mode. Baltimore. I think Baltimore wants just to move on from him. And if that's really the case, maybe that price point is a lot lower than we're anticipating. I don't know. I'm interested. I'm always down to hear a conversation about it. Who would you guys give up for Adley Rutschman? Again, it's kind of a buy low, perform high situation with him. I think he's got another year or 2 of arbitration eligibility. But again, Adley Rutschman was the former number 1 overall pick. This dude can hit the baseball really, really well. And honestly, I like what Miguel Amaya was providing. Carson Kelly is not going to repeat what he did last year. that we can't bank on. Now, Miguel Amaya, how does he return healthy? That's a great question. He might just do that. But in the interim, I know Adley Rutschman is a very good, consistent baseball player, and I would love to add him to the Cubs. But again, there's got to be moves to be made, et cetera, et cetera. It's more of a situation, does Baltimore really want to move off of Adley Rutschman? That part, I do not know. Let me know in the comments down below. Because just like this situation that happened right here, right? The Mets are trading Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien, okay? I think Texas is kind of seeing the writing on the wall in this situation. They had their season. They won their title. And these past few seasons have just been an absolute struggle. And they would much rather pay Brandon Nimmo the $20-ish million a year than pay him Marcus Semien, who's going to be entering his age 35 season, and then pay him for 36 and 37. The Mets wanted infield help. The Rangers wanted outfield help. This is where the Cubs have to strike, right? They need to find a trade partner that needs a certain thing where the Cubs can upgrade at their thing, right? Again, most of the Cubs position players are set. Could we upgrade at third base? Absolutely. Could we upgrade at catcher? Absolutely. Could we upgrade at right field defensively and offensively? Sure. These possibilities do exist, but who can we partner with and make that happen? That is the question. And if you guys have any ideas, please drop them down in the comment section below. I would love to hear them, okay? So I'm just reporting this news. We got our first kind of big trade of the offseason. Marcus Semien for Brandon Nimmo. So Semien's going to be in the Big Apple with the Mets. Now, if you guys want to hear a really, really fun stat, I was kind of researching on Twitter, which, is obviously a really, really resourceful place for stat news and notes. But someone was making the comment after this trade, right? There's just a lot of hype around trades and such like that. It said the Mets now have the best defensive infield in the sport. Okay? Take a look at this. Lindor plus Semien in 2025 defensive run saves, 4, 12 OAA, 9 FRV. Look at our main man, Nico Horner. 17 defensive run saves, 14 OAA, 12 FRV. And he's doing it while playing next to elite defender Dansby Swanson. Cubs middle infield, at least defensively speaking, is the best in baseball. And there's no doubt about it. So I'm happy we got Nico and Dansby playing defense. Hopefully they continue to bring the bat and this offense can continue its production. My goal here, ladies and gentlemen, with the Adley Rutschman deal is to attempt to recreate Kyle Tucker. How do we do that? We need a threat in the lineup still. It's one of the most prevalent things. If we go this offseason without adding a big bat of any sorts, this is a disaster. Banking on Matt Shaw and Owen Casey / Kevin Alcantara to kind of recreate that. Maybe Moises Ballesteros, maybe. But Bio is much more of a contact hitter, which this team needs. I'm not denying that. But we need a big popper still to drive in these runs so that this pitching staff can do what it does. Because the Cubs pitching is good enough, in my opinion, to get us to where we need to go. We need to score runs. So we need to find a way to create offense. And, I'm just going to keep researching ways to make that happen. So that's going to do it for today's edition of Cubs Daily. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that thumbs up button. Share your thoughts on down below. And I'll see you all in the next one. Also, make sure you're subscribed.